Tá bem, eu vou falar. Vamos despachar isto rápido. Está bem. Tá bem.
Mas quer dizer, eu acho que é bom as pessoas terem falar, não é? Sim. Se calhar temos que falar de outras notas, que é para poder ver as pessoas diferentes. Claro.
Não, por amor de Deus.
Só tu se tem que dar sorriso. Tá.
Discussion and stuff. Já podemos começar ou ainda? Welcome back, everyone. So this is our last session of the official meeting, and I don't think that we have that much to talk because we had many opportunities during coffee breaks and lunch breaks to talk with each other. But it would be good just to have everyone in the same room and discuss a couple of things. Especially Rosa and Silung are very interested on discussing international flight initiatives. But before, I'd like to give you some announcements regarding the program for tonight, for the ones that are interested, and also for the program for the weekend. As you know, this is the Light Festival in Cascais, 2 stops from here, starts tonight. It's from tonight to Sunday, so even if you stay during the weekend in Lisbon or in Cascais, it's a good opportunity to explore a bit more the festival. Yeah, and during the festival, I think after 7, if you buy a train ticket from Lisbon or any other stop to Cascais, you just pay €1 instead of €1.50 or €2.50. And so tonight, some of us are going to the festival. Let's meet. If you want to join us, you are more than welcome. They have a different route that you can follow to do the different installations. So if you are interested, we can meet at 9 o'clock. Or 9 o'clock, let's say 9 o'clock, at the point number 1, it's just close to the train station from Cascais. There's an info point for the festival, so we can just meet there at 9 o'clock, and then we can walk together or not, and explore some of the light installations that they are around the city, and looks really cool. I saw some pictures from last year, and I'm really looking forward. And for the photographers, 9 o'clock, and for the photographers, I think it's going to be a full night of nice pictures. That Babak, I'm looking at you. Tomorrow, that's for tomorrow. So, and as you know, tomorrow we have what we call the post-conference tour, and it's really just a very informal event that we organized in Museu da Luz, Museum of Light, in the Alqueva region. It's rather far from here. Rather far. It's a small country. It's a small country. Yeah, Brazil is far. Even the Netherlands. So it's 2 hours and 25 minutes driving, according to Google Maps, and it's very close to the border with Spain. And usually, it's a region very well known for good food, good wine, and good dark skies. So if we are lucky and the weather is good, we're going to have very nice dark skies. And sorry, come again. And also a very nice castle in Mourão. And the program, we start at 9 o'clock. So before that, if you're going and if you're taking your car, you should go before, explore the region. There's a lot of things to see. But the official program starts at 9 o'clock. Babak is going to give a talk. And then afterwards, some of the telescopes from Nucleus, some of the telescopes from some of my friends and colleagues will be available for us to look through the telescopes and look at the night sky. The day after, and also at the same time, tomorrow afternoon, there's a workshop on astrophotography. So I think they have around 14 or 15 participants there attending this workshop organized by a Portuguese astrophotographer called Miguel Claro. He's the coordinator. And they decided to do it there because then they can also listen to Babak's talk and learn a bit with him. So I think they will be very pleased and very happy to have you all of them there. So it's going to be a very nice evening with a lot of Portuguese amateur astronomers and astrophotographers. The day after, we're going to have an informal workshop. An informal because we only are trying to answer one question: how to increase the impact of global projects at local level. And we have people here coordinating global projects, and we have a lot of people here doing local projects. So I think we are trying to understand how we can collaborate better and what kind of things the local people need from the global projects and vice versa. I think it's going to be interesting if we can answer this question. I'll be very, very happy. It's going to be very short, 1 hour and a half. So it's really a Sunday. We just want to have an opportunity to sit all together and discuss. Same place, or nearby. I don't know if it's the same room, but it's nearby. It's the same museum. And then afterwards, we can decide the night before who is coming to the workshop, and then we can try to book a table for everyone or in a restaurant in Mourão, so we can all go for lunch, and then you are free to go back to your houses, to your airports, and to your things. So there's a kind of a registration form on this address that you can just check who is going, who's not going, and who's taking cars, who's not taking cars. And there are some suggestions for accommodation. So if you haven't booked a place or if you haven't been informed where you're staying, you should book a place as soon as possible. I think it's getting really fully booked. It's also quite, there's very few places to stay. That's also a problem. But if, also, I think the sleeping bag will also be, if it's not raining. Anyway. Yeah, that's very, but I think most of them are fully booked. So it seems like it's a popular destination, maybe for the workshop and for the talk. Let's hope. Any questions at this stage? No. So I have some of the people that registered, and I think that we have some free seats in Rosa's car. One. Okay, so I have 2 people assigned here. But no problem, we'll arrange. Because of the telescope. Okay. But then if not, Lina I think has a place in her car. So it's actually between Mike and Silung, so we can decide. These are the assignments. So if you see your name and with whom you are going, because it's quite some of the people without cars, there's some logistical problems.
We can take the smaller telescope, so I can take Silung and Mike.
Okay. If not, we arrange between Silung and Mike for sure. I just don't, since they are here, it would be easier for them to go from Cascais. And so that's about it. And if you still want to go and you don't know all the details or anything, just approach me, or we can already talk now, and I can give you a bit more information if you want to go by your own means, how to get there and everything. Any questions or comments? No? So talk with Rosa. She will arrange it for you. You're going to be with Rosa, and then she's going to bring you back to Lisbon and Cascais for sure. So, and that's after the lunch, pretty much. So I think after 2:30, 3 o'clock, we will be ready, and people can start going back or exploring a bit more the region. Okay. Yes, and maybe for the ones that were here for during Eric's talk on Tuesday, there was this survey on astronomy literacy goals, and I think all of you got a copy. If it's not the case, I can share this copy with you, and we would really like to have the feedback from you, and also some comments, if you have comments about these astronomy literacy goals. Okay, so now the discussion. At the moment, we only have 2 discussion points. One of them is international flight initiatives, more educational initiatives, and maybe Rosa, you can give an overview. We can talk a bit about them, and then we'll also talk about the future of any astronomy education meetings and how we should proceed with these meetings, and maybe I can also lead that one. Any other topics that you like to discuss while we are all here? Carl.
Future, I think a discussion of the big ideas, astronomy standards, and future world education for the next 2,000 years.
Yes.
I thought that was very hot.
No, the thing is the type of discussions that we can have, but if there's no a starting point, it's going to be just impossible to actually achieve anything. So if you want to lead that one, and yeah,
I'll mostly talk myself. Joke.
but we can, after these two points, we can start that discussion how to dominate the world in 2000. When was that? 2000.
Well, that would be
2000. 200. 2014.
4014.
4014. Okay. Rosa.
I am not showing. Actually, I'm not showing anything because it's not suitable for such a distinct audience. I'm joking. It's just that I have a couple of things written here. So just to share with you what we're going to be doing during the International Year of International Year of Light. We had 3 proposals accepted by the International Astronomical Union. Hello, Silang, you want to introduce the International Astronomical Union cornerstone? Yeah, talk. Okay. So assuming that everyone was here. Exactly. So we will. The IAU has decided to give cornerstone status to 3 projects. It's 3 only, right? And so yesterday we agreed that all the 3 projects are going to be combined in only one that is going to be called Cosmic Light Awareness, and is a good group of people managing the project. Is people who are cornerstones of International Year of Astronomy. So it's basically a project by Connie Walker. It was a project proposed by the Galileo Teacher Training Program and a project by Yunawe. So the 3 of us are going to be collaborating and putting together this Cosmic Light Awareness program. So the basic idea is to reach, I will just read a few highlights to you, is to reach 100 nations next year, try to reach all the nations where we had some representatives on nodes, and try to build on what they have at a national level. So there are some awareness activities, outreach activities, and some education, teacher training activities. So we're going to have a kit. It's a virtual kit because the funding is not really a lot. Well, if there is any rich person listening to me and you want to sponsor physical kits, that would be awesome, especially to send to developing countries. In some schools, they don't even have electricity, so that would be really, really awesome. But in case we can't do that, we're going to do a virtual kit, and the virtual kit will have different components from different projects, going from Universe Awareness material, Dark Skies Awareness material, European Space Agency materials, tactile materials, instructions to build all those things, and any other institution that wants to have their material included in this virtual kit will be more than welcome. So all the resources for the kit are going to be endorsed or reviewed by AstroEdu, and then we're going to promote a series of hangouts about a selection of topics related to International Year of Light. And after that, we are going to promote teacher training, also on the use of the tools and resources. And of course, as always, the Galileo Teacher Training Program Network will ensure support to all teachers willing to embark on this journey. At the end, we are going to have reviewed, endorsed, pilot, and tested virtual kit and several hangouts, and we're going to assemble everything as a legacy that is going to be called the Cosmic Light MOOC. So I think these are the major highlights. The training sessions are going to have asynchronous components, synchronous formats as well, and we are trying to work in each and every country to also have them promote face-to-face events with their teachers. So we will be working with the ambassadors, and the ambassadors in each nation or each place will be promoting face-to-face training to their local teachers. So the topics that are going to be addressed is light in its rich variety and impact. So light as a source of life, light as a source of knowledge, light from the past, light from the future, and light for inclusion. Colors we see and colors we don't see. What else I have here? So I'll open for questions. Just a second, Carl. Let me just finish, scroll down to the end of the document, so I'm sure that I have covered all the major things. The first releases, so we are now starting to gather all the material and information, combine ideas, and make a nice curricula to present for this IYL. The first release of ideas, at least, is going to be December, and material is going to be released every 4 months from then on until the end of the project. Let's see, I'm almost at the end. We are going to have also a contest, hopefully with the support of Dark Skies Alqueva. We're going to have a website in IAU webpage. There will be a website devoted to cosmic light awareness, where all the links and important material is going to be there. There's going to be a Globe at Night app, a special app. There's going to be posters and leaflets. We're going to try to promote, to give some guidelines on how to engage policymakers. We're going to try and involve International Dark Skies Association. And we will produce video tutorials, Google Hangouts, virtual science cafes. We're going to try and print some tactile materials in 3D printers. And I guess that's it. Carl, you had a question or a comment?
I didn't hear light as the fundamental purveyor of energy, you know.
It's embedded. So all those things that I said has a list of subtopics, and that is embedded there. So the idea is that after we have the curricula ready, we will circulate that in order to make sure that on top, okay?
Yeah.
So how did you phrase that?
Light is the fundamental transport of energy in the universe. What's there some better word? Conveyor.
Mm-hmm.
What's the right word? You're a big idea.
Okay.
Carrier.
Okay. More comments, questions?
How will you integrate like with ODED's?
So ODED, we will have to, after this selection of topics is done, we will share this with him, and the opera will be related to these topics. I guess that is the basic idea. I'm not sure. Actually, I have Oded's proposal here. Let me just check it. By the way, if you want to participate in the Skylight Opera, let me know while you're here, or even people watching online. if you want your school or your country to participate in the Skylight Opera, we're going to select 27 schools from 27 different countries. If your country has more than one school willing to participate, you will have to coordinate yourselves to have one team that will participate in the Skylight Opera. Okay? Let's see. I think I have his.
That's going to be real time?
That will be. Wait a moment. It will be. There will be a live performance here in Portugal, and also online. So the performance will take place in Casa da Música, and the kids are going to perform live from the different countries at the same time. I don't know how that will happen. I'm not sure if I'll survive that, because all the preparation for that is going to be really, really, really stressful. But I don't know. What Dad said, we can do it, so I believe him. So I don't think we have the details of the science topics. So I think that the smart way to do it is to connect to the cosmic light awareness topics. And here we have some initial list of countries, but I better not say that because I don't have those countries confirmed. So, yeah, Linda.
Can you say more about the cosmic light MOOC that you'll have?
So the idea is that since we are producing online training events, we're going to produce guidelines, we're going to have hangouts, probably several synchronous questions, answers, I don't know, whatever, because I know people will get creative and they will start, promoting different things. If we report and record everything, at the end perhaps we can assemble a nice MOOC. It's an idea. Let's see if we have enough quality of the materials produced. Even if we don't produce a MOOC already, we have a good draft to produce a MOOC that will be a strong legacy of IYL, at least from the part of International Astronomical Union. So, do I hear Linda wants to help there? I think I do, don't I? No, I mean, that actually would be very good, because that means that perhaps you could say, okay, you want to do a MOOC, these are the ingredients you have to have. And then we drive things in that direction already. Okay? First collaboration. I'm writing that down. Okay, something else. Come on, you're creative thinkers. So, Pedro, what do we do? How do we wake them up?
I would suggest, if you haven't done it, you look at the MOOC, Coursera.org.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Okay.
Coursera, Udemy, Explora, there are many.
And take a class.
And actually, the Open University, they have plenty. So, do I hear Lucia also wants to help? No? No?
Well, we actually have in our plans to have a MOOC on astronomy, and we have to find out the team. The only problem with MOOC is that actually it takes quite a while to be produced and in a format that is fine for university. So I'm not sure that I can say it's going to be included in the plans we have already. But I will go back to my university announcement.
You are what?
When I go back,
Okay.
I will ask the status of the people on astronomy.
Perhaps you can act as a reviewer or something like that.
But we call it MOOC because it's training, but but actually I think it's more training videos that.
Yeah,
There are training
I
videos
mean,
for
exactly. There are many definitions of
And
these
for-
open courses, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Open courseware, MOOCs. We'll see. We will have something of a course, something perhaps not yeah.
You might want to consider a collaboration with the Khan Academy, because they already have the platform in like a huge region
Mm-hmm.
spotlight to a special issue.
Okay. Actually, okay.
It will save you a lot of time building a platform at least because they already have it.
Oh yeah, no, we
I
don't plan to build any. Actually, since the funding that we are getting is only really a very small seed funding, we will have to use the infrastructure that we have at NOAO, which is Connie Walker's institution, University of Leiden, where Pedro is based, and Nucleo will be supported by Inspiring Science Education projects. So all these institutions or projects have their own infrastructure or platforms, and if they have the components we need, we might be willing or needing to use those, because in the end some or great part of the staff cost is going to come from those.
Yeah, but I think because they all have their own platforms, it's going to be really difficult to bring them all together.
We'll see. We'll see. This is something that we have to figure out.
But in terms of our resources, of course, anything that we'll produce, we'll try to have the highest impact. So if we can team up with Khan Academy and have them hosting or even co-producing the videos, that would be the best case scenario. So yes, definitely
Anyone
is a good
here
idea.
knows anyone at Khan Academy? Anyone online? We'll see. I'm wishing now that my email will pop up saying, I do.
Maybe Kanye sent himself. Okay, so what are you guys doing for the International Year of Light? Maybe you shouldn't do anything, okay. Tilina.
Tilly, you know what? There's a microphone here.
Where?
So you can be the first one using it and
So, year 2005 was International Year of Physics, and we had a committee for that, and then we had a committee for International Year of Astronomy. So for International Year of Light, what we did was actually combine these two. And so we have mostly physics, like the Physics Society of Sri Lanka leading it, and then we have few, like 1/3 of the committees from astronomy. And because light is actually not just in astronomy, and it's very physical thing. And so we have, so far we have about 5 events planned. And especially in grade 9, there's one whole chapter on optics. And we will be having seminars throughout the country to cover that chapter, like seminars in large scale, like for the whole grade. And this is actually, we have the support from the government for this, and because there's a new committee last year set up. So we are pretty much actually putting together experience from the IYA and the International Year of Physics, because we learn a lot from those 2 years. So we are just pushing it forward.
Great. Actually, next year is International Year of Light for a reason. They're celebrating 100 years of general relativity, which is something that you don't actually learn at school. There's a video from, I don't remember who wrote the video. Actually, if you go to my Facebook page, I posted it in my wall. It's a brilliant video about what we teach in our curriculum. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And all the modern stuff that we have in our lives are part of the curriculum that we never learn at school. So general relativity is one of those. And it's amusing because we live in a general relativity universe, at least as far as we know. Maybe a modified general relativity, but it's certainly not a Newtonian universe. And so they're celebrating general relativity, and I think it's a very good opportunity to show that teaching general relativity is not that hard. We should be teaching our primary kids about general relativity. Black holes to primary schools. I did it, believe me, or not. I had to do it. One day I can share with you this experience. It was my first public outreach event, and it was really fun. So I think these are good opportunities to engage the public, to think beyond. You know, I'll sparkle the interest of you. I'll show the video, the one that I'm talking, because it talks about many topics. Is that okay, Pedro? So what do I do? Let me turn on this computer. Pedro, can you please? Not good, Rosa, not good. Ele está desligado, não está aí, Bernardo. É, mas tem que esperar um pouquinho, eu não preciso disto. Quero a internet, quero ir ao meu Facebook. Ups. Espera só um bocadinho a ver se eu consigo pôr isto para passar, não se vai embora. Que é para já depois a colocar ali.
Charles.
Então a gente vai fazer tag no meu nome, isto fica lá para trás. Ok, é isto.
Tem que arrastar a janela para o segundo monitor.
Ok. Deixa eu só ver aqui. Tá ligado, né? Precisa ter som, não?
Isso
Tá. Tem que ligar ou não? Tá desligado.
Tu tem que ligar. Vamos. Agora, posso?
Pode.
Ferramentar.
Nem sabia que precisava de ter aqui.
É o filme, não é? É só carregar aqui no botão e vem com o filme.
Não tem esse som.
United States, a country with 5,000 nuclear weapons, birthplace of the world's computer. Dear Mr. President, do you know much about physics? I mean, you're the President of the United States, a country with 5,000 nuclear weapons, birthplace of the world's computing and telecommunications industry, home of the first atomic clock, and creator of the global positioning system. But chances are, if you just took regular American high school physics, you don't know one iota about the science behind these things. No offense. That's because high school physics students across most of America are not required to learn about pretty much any physical phenomena discovered or explained more recently than 1865. Yes, 1865. That's the year the Civil War ended, and well over a decade before Albert Einstein was even born. You know what can happen in 150 years, Mr. President? A lot. Velcro, for one. But let me list some useful and important ideas in the last 150 years of physics that aren't a required part of most standard US high school physics courses. Photons, the structure of atoms, the existence of antimatter, GPS, lasers, transistors, diodes and LEDs, quarks, chaos theory, electron microscopy, MRI scanning, the Big Bang, black holes, star formation, the fact that gravity bends light, the fact that the universe is expanding, the Higgs boson and the weak and strong nuclear forces, and all the rest of quantum mechanics and relativity, and the topic of every single Nobel Prize in physics since always. Basically, most of the important stuff. I mean, Mr. President, imagine if history classes didn't talk about the abolition of slavery, World Wars I or II, the Great Depression, the rise of the US as a global superpower, the Cold War or the Civil Rights Movement, or heaven forbid, the first African-American president. Or imagine if biology classes didn't talk about DNA, or hormones, or cell reproduction, or the modern germ theory of disease, or ecology. Or if geologists didn't talk about plate tectonics. And computer scientists? Well, in 1865, a computer was a person who computed your taxes. Now, if you were lucky enough to have an ambitious teacher or take advanced placement physics, then you might have learned about some of Einstein's discoveries of 1905. Yes, current events. But learning about how Einstein's work helped set the stage for a century of amazing developments in our understanding of the universe is not a part of the standard curriculum. So why, Mr. President, am I addressing this letter to you? Well, you appoint the Secretary of Education, for one, and I do believe that high school physics is somewhat related to education. Now, maybe your education secretary says, ancient physics is already hard to teach to high schoolers, and you want us to teach them modern physics, which is even harder? Students can't really appreciate the beauty of modern physics without fancy college-level mathematics. Rubbish. Ever heard of Carl Sagan, Richard Feynman, or Neil deGrasse Tyson? These great men have been 100% committed to the appreciation and dissemination of the awesomeness of the universe, and we should be too. How else are we supposed to foster and find our future brilliant innovators, inventors, and explorers? How can we expect to educate our citizens for the next century if we don't teach about the last? And that's not to say that we should ignore math, either. On the contrary, math is one of the most beautiful and awesome things in the universe, especially because it allows us to understand the universe. In particular, the last 150 years have borne fruit to perhaps the most drastic changes in our understanding of the universe ever. And these new ways of thinking and solving problems should be the centerpiece of any education in physics. Between you and me, Mr. President, I think we'd better start making physics education more awesome here in the US. Otherwise, the next Carl Sagan or Richard Feynman will come from somewhere with more educational foresight. Maybe even the internet. Sincerely, a collection of atoms known as Henry. P.S. You're probably super busy, but if you'd like to hear about physics education across the Atlantic, I highly recommend heading over to Brady's channel, 60 Symbols, for a perspective from the UK. I bet you'll enjoy it.
And also, I feel incredibly sorry for the students coming in.
Let me close everything that's open. So I think that's...
There wasn't a single woman in that whole thing.
No, true. So perhaps that is something that we have to fix.
U.S. view of women hasn't changed since 1860s.
I'm just closing all the stuff that's here. Okay, was this good enough to sparkle your curiosity, interest, creativity?
On relativity?
Maybe. Assume, so I can write down their multiple ideas.
I think everyone is very tired.
Everyone is very tired and needs to go.
But let's first there's we have some announcements from Silung about the exoplanets and exciting things happening next year and this year about exoplanets. But before, one of the things that we decided to do for this meeting to join forces between the different programs, Global Hands-on Universe, GTTP, Universe Awareness, and bring them together in the same room in the form of what we call alliance meeting. And this is something that, in a way, we were expecting more people to join the conference. And at the same time, since most of the problems and issues and challenges that we have are common, it would be a good opportunity to meet together and discuss these things. So one of the things that I was wondering is if this is something that we should explore in the future, or you rather have a completely global hands-on universe meeting, a universe awareness workshop, and so on. And I think it will be good to have this discussion.
So I'll make it easy.
Okay.
I'll make it easy for you, Pedro. Who thinks we should continue merging all the different efforts as we did in the Alliance meeting? Please raise your hands. Who thinks we should separate things? Who doesn't have an opinion? You don't have an opinion.
And why not? I'm
Why
curious.
Okay. I thought so. So, everybody awake? Good. Question. Should we continue promoting this alliance meeting where all the different institutions that have a say in astronomy education meet? Or should we continue having separate meetings devoted to specific community, GTTP, GHU, UNAWE, etc.? So who votes for continuation It's true. I mean, who votes for the continuation
Who's in favor?
of an alliance meeting? Okay, that's better. It's not unanimous, but I think it's almost, right?
Linda, Mike, no, first Paulo. You had a comment.
Yes, no, first suggested that for the Commission 46, they suggested to make meetings with the astronomy meetings like this, right? And to maintain this model.
So joint meetings, astronomy education will always try to join a larger meeting, form a larger community like planetary science or even the IAU-GA. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Support also the interaction between scientists and educators.
Yeah. Linda?
I think it might be nice to kick things off with a bit clear introduction to the different programs that are part of this alliance.
Yeah.
Some of that, but I think that could have been clear because not everybody knows what's going on.
Yeah. So the main goal is actually not turning this in an alliance meeting where the allies come together and look at us, but it's more an astronomy education conference, a bit like following the model that we have for CAP, but just focus on astronomy education at the global level, international level. I think that's the ultimate goal, to organize really a larger conference. Mike?
So that's basically part of the idea that I have is, you know, I like to combine communities as much as possible. I don't think there are distinctions between each one of these entities, or there shouldn't be. And other communities such as informal education, the outreach community,
No.
especially with amateur astronomers, this is the only science where we have that kind of a thing there. So you know, it's an alliance between organizations in a sense, but I think it should be more inclusive and see ways in which everybody can cooperate. That's the value of it.
Yeah. And I think at some point we should discuss the CAP conference joining forces with this astronomy education, because there's a lot of overlap. That's a... Yeah. Yeah, he's the new chairperson, so he said that he can, so good. Good.
You're the chair of CAP?
Yeah. Good. Any other comments about this? There's one more.
Even though it's just a congress, I think it would help to have like an agenda for a week, what you want to come out of a week like this. If you have like, because astronomy education, from my point of view as a teacher right now, is just getting started really. If I look at Dutch school system, astronomy has no part in it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you actually want to further astronomy education within the standard school systems in the different countries, you actually need to have some sort of agenda and some sort of a common goal you work towards. And actually these meetings should, I think, work towards that goal instead of being just a congress where different people come together and listen to different talks.
Yeah.
Which are very nice, don't get me wrong, but
I absolutely agree with you. I think it's a combination between the two of them, but I think having specific sessions dedicated how we can foster the goals that we define as a community is an essential part. And that we touch a few things here and there during this week, like astronomy literacy goals.
at the same time we don't follow up on them.
No, yeah, because the problem is there's several different communities and we are not really organized as one community. Commission 46 in the IU should do that, but I have the feeling that they are not doing that. So we may just take over that thing and just do it ourselves. But I absolutely agree.
In your presentation, you already outlined several important things that have to be done.
Yeah, we can use as a starting point to start the discussions, yeah. I think I agree with you. We need to have a goal as a community, European level, international level, that can help the local level. Like pretty much what you said, I absolutely agree. So if you want to help and have teachers on the other side is always essential. Because sometimes we are like the astronomy community, saying, we should do this education like this. But working with teachers is an essential part, and sometimes it's missing.
Let me just make a comment. I hear very often this astronomy is not part of the curriculum. Actually, it's not named as astronomy, but astronomy topics are in curricula of every country in the world. Everybody teaches about solar system, the sun, the stars, and there are different depths and different components. No, but I think this is important. There's a reason why I'm saying that.
But the thing is, if you just go into a single classroom in, let me exaggerate it, any different
Exactly.
Published books that are used by schools. And if you look at how many examples are taken from astronomy, they're pretty close to zero. I can look at my own Dutch books. I don't think there's a single example given from Newtonian laws or whatever laws
From astronomy.
I totally agree with you. No, that was what I was going to say exactly, is that astronomy topics like seasons, phases, or solar system components, universe components, are part of every country's curricula. And what I find is that sometimes it's easier to start from there and then build.
Yeah, what
you
we
know?
call entry points in the curriculum, and that's something that we have also
Exactly.
to identify and show examples how we can use them.
So we don't find barriers, immediate barriers by people who don't understand that astronomy is everywhere.
Stefan?
We are trying also the opposite strategy, that is to allow teachers to explain physics part of their curriculum just using astronomic subject because of the astronomy interest of the students.
Yeah.
And I think it could be a good strategy anyway.
That's a more holistic approach, using astronomy as an umbrella for different topics from history to philosophy and sciences.
Be the red line among
Yeah.
curricula that are inside schools without asking to the teacher more and more effort.
So okay, so I think we have a yes for a next big astronomy education meeting, and we will discuss how to proceed with that. I think every 2 years could be a good time frame, or even every 3 years.
Although next year is a good year to have an alliance.
But yeah, I don't think that organizing the next one in Hawaii, where only a very few of us are maybe have funded to go, it's the best place to organize a conference for a community like this one.
But this time is many Europeans participants, but we will also hope to have more international participants as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that's always when you organize one conference in a region, that you always have more participants from that region. That's a known fact. No, that's the thing. That's why maybe there it's a difficult place. Linda. The Western world, yeah.
And so it's harder for teachers and even university instructors like my colleague to come. So if it could happen like during the middle of the summer, that might be better.
Yeah, this was the first and probably last time that Jihu happened in Jihu and the first alliance. The reason was that Europlanet always holds their meeting in September. And that was the only way we could have a place like this, because we're not paying for this room. So, and this is a very expensive room. So, and that was because we had Europlanet. That was the only reason. Usually, we do it last week of July or first or second week of August, and I think that model is a good model, right?
I think we have,
Yeah.
I don't know. We have to see. Maybe for the global hands-on university, it's the best. It's the first 2 weeks of August.
Should also not put it on top of the ASP meeting because it's a fairly similar.
Yeah.
You know, actually, we're planning to involve them as much as we can in the alliance, and I think that the new director is very open to that.
Great. So for the ones that don't know, ASP is the large, very big actually, American astronomy education meeting, and they have, I don't know, 200 people maybe.
Do all this in conjunction with ASP.
Yes, every time that we do it in the US, because I don't think that the ASP wants to do it outside the US.
I'm not so sure.
Sorry? Yes, yeah. Definitely, if we do it in the US, I think we should do join the ASP, definitely. Yeah.
2017, we are in the US.
We are?
Jihu.
Ah.
Jihu, because there is a total solar eclipse.
Ah, yes, exactly. That's going to be a good occasion to do a big one. Okay. Any other comments about the meeting issues? And I think it has a indication that we should explore a way to organize a global astronomy education meeting, and I think we're going to pursue that. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
And something I also recognized in the CAP meeting I mean, for someone like me, I've been an educator of astronomy for some years, but not now. I'm more looking for challenges that the people are facing in their work, in the presentation. So that would be good if any of the people who are presenting at such meeting speak more of the challenges and the problems they have rather than the successes.
I think that's a cultural thing, and
happened-
community culture, not nation culture. I think it's a community culture. We have this because, like I said in my presentation, we don't have really a lot of support from the at institution level. So we have this eagerness to show good results all the time, because that's the only way that we can still get support. And I think at the moment that we are more in infrastructure level of organizations where we have the support that we need, we might be able to talk about our problems and our issues more open. But we have to change that attitude, that community attitude. And I feel that is the same at CAP. CAP people talk about good results and how great things they are, and they're doing great things. But I agree with you. We can learn from things that don't work much more than the things that work, because I definitely agree.
You know, this, if you think about it, conferences are about showing results, and everybody's results are independent, and most of the time they don't apply to what you're doing, so you sit and see about something, and there's nothing to follow up on.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, and those are the things that make it worth going to. It's a good point.
No, definitely. Maybe even have a forced template on presentations, and you have to fulfill these questions. Maybe.
Because I've been involved in different fields, and they're all the same type of thing. But the purpose, when you go out to the coffee breaks, that's where you start. That's the best part of the meetings. You know? So have sessions where people say, here are the challenges that we have. Challenge people to bring the challenges that they think the community can solve, because otherwise it's an individual talking to individuals, and maybe there'll be something like that.
So next meeting, perhaps someone can propose a specific session about this issue.
Where we force the model, the format of the presentation. Problem-based presentation.
I love it.
I agree. And trying to find solutions to those problems. Absolutely. Thanks, Babak. Very good point. Linda.
Yeah, I think just following up on that, there could be more of a constructive criticism culture in the questioning and discussions following talks. I was just sort of contrasting with if you were at a scientific meeting, there'd be a lot of, did you consider that? Like, you know, oh, I'm not sure that actually worked. Is that really true? And here, there's been, I mean, it's a really, really positive, like, yeah, we can do this environment, but we can do some more maybe criticism of each other's work in a like productive way that might move us forward even more.
Yeah, the difference is that usually at a scientific meeting, presenting research results, it's rigorous. You're questioning and these are really case studies, which
Rigorous.
in any case,
No. I'm saying it's but again, is that attitude that science education is not necessarily rigorous or soft science or social sciences, which is of course not. That's the thing.
I think this is better. I'm not criticizing.
Yeah.
I'm saying these are case studies where we're letting people know about things, and they're not the end point. They're the starting point. These are pilot studies instead of published papers.
Yeah. But there, I think the SOC of any meeting needs to work harder, and it's something that I haven't seen in CAP or even these meetings. It's very hard to engage the SOC many times in looking to the abstracts or the submissions in a very critical way. That's something that also needs to change at the leaders level of the community.
I'm not arguing for being more rigorous. I'm arguing kind of the other way around.
Yeah.
That these are ideas and germs, and for the community, this is better. Most of the scientific conferences that I've gone to throughout my life, I can read about things in journals.
Yeah, definitely. Any other comments?
Let me just say one thing that I forgot. All the presentations and the videos recorded are going to be available in Hands-on Universe webpage.
Okay, so is any other... We have one topic that was not in my original list with 2 topics. It's about the exoplanets. Any other topic that we have to discuss? Or can we finish the meeting after Silung's announcements?
I
I think, yeah, we can make, okay, so we have 5 minutes should be fine. After the exoplanet naming, maybe Carl, if you don't mind, you can kick off that discussion. And then we can have 5 minutes and then continue to over coffee. Is that okay? Because coffee is at 3:30, right? Or it's at 4? Oh, okay, so we have some time.
35 minutes.
Okay, we have 35 minutes. Okay, so you have 10 minutes.
Okay, I will just want to borrow a few minutes to talk about another really engaging project that is a big thing for the astronomical community next year. No, not next year. It's actually already starting. So I really don't have time to talk about that during the whole week. So I just want to take this opportunity to share with you one of the very important projects that the International Astronomical Union is just launched in July. So it's called the Name Exoworlds. So as you know, all the celestial objects, comets, asteroids, all these objects are actually named by the International Astronomical Union. And it is the first time the IAU has decided to, using an entirely different way, to give names to exoplanets. Now we have thousands of exoplanets, and they're only with codes, with numbers, and only in the standard way of naming 51 Pegasi B, like that. But we want a real name, like Neptune, like Pluto, like that kind of names. But we will, using a very entirely different strategy, we will invite the public to propose names for that. So we call the project the Name Exoworlds, and everything is actually on the website. So you can go to this nameexoworlds.org, okay, to look at this. And there's also, at the same time, there was a press release. It is the first press release, okay. It was go online in July, so it tells you a bit about what is the campaign about. So it's on the IU website, but you can also read here. So the basic idea is, I told you we want to invite the people to give names to propose to name exoplanets. So if you are, I know many of you are teachers here and also educators. So the idea, we would like to invite the people, okay, in general, everyone, to involve in. But it is difficult for us technically to invite really millions or billions of people in the world to give names, which is really hard. So we adopt the system. So we will invite the organizations to propose names. So the names that go through the organization, like high school, like planetarium, science center, like astronomy, even cultural organizations, as long as you have any astronomy activities, it's fine. So this is the website. So you can see there, okay, so the process, okay, so it's quite a number of steps. So the timeline will be updated. I will tell you, the timeline will be updated. So the next step is the second step. So we'll open a registration website late this month. And the registration will open until the end of this year. So this is not update. So we'll open until the end of this year, and then the next year we will continue the next step. And we will select the name for the first batch of about 20 to 30 exoplanets for the next IU General Assembly in August. So, well, there are some rules like what names can be named. Okay, so for example, you cannot name a cat, you cannot name a dog, okay? And only that person could be named. So if you want to get your name on the exoplanet, you should be dead, okay? Okay? So there are many details. Okay, so the basic idea is who. Okay, so I told you, astronomy-related organizations and high school, we definitely encourage. Okay, so if you have questions, you can ask me here. Okay, so the basic information is already over there. So I want to borrow a term from the Rosetta missions. So they call the Rosetta mission the sexiest missions. I will also say this is again a very sexy campaign, because you can imagine you can give a name to the object in the sky. We always want to do that, but we don't have opportunity in the past. But now is opportunity. So everyone could have a chance to propose a name in the sky that could be named after your proposal, which is sexy, right? So this is a great chance, not only for the names itself, but also for education. So you can educate the students, educate the people, what is exoplanet and why you give such a name. So of course you need some rationale, you need to come with this a description, and during that process you can engage the students to discuss, to talk about and educate them about all the properties of exoplanets, right? So great campaign. Okay, thank you.
Names like Mars, Venus, but those actually are religious names. They are based on a mythology. And you say, but that's just not modern religion.
Not modern religious. Not modern religion.
Oh, there are more gods.
Yeah.
Some religions are older than the Greek.
And they are still alive. It's not living person.
Anyway, you could look at the website.
Okay, you need a microphone? Sure.
But I would like to have some feedback on this specific one, especially from the teachers. Are you planning to engage in this kind of initiative to involve your students in naming the exoplanets at the school level? Yeah? No, I'm just curious to know what's the first impression and how. Okay, very good.
I would like to say, as a teacher, and I'm joining a lot of events for my career, that this congress is the one where I learn most. Even the lectures, some say it's boring, but it's not. And I start to give my lessons today, and I used already a lot of information. So I want to congratulate you.
It's called Fundamentals of Science.
So I can go ahead, Pedro?
Yeah, please.
So I was hoping we could take a few minutes, maybe 5 or 10, and just brainstorm, and I don't know if it'll be creative or destructive or what, but on I think an opportunity in terms of the big ideas, which there was a breakout session yesterday, and I think a lot of global education is going towards, and how we might fit into this, and how I think we can eventually prove ourselves out that we are the best way for kids to learn. I suspect many of us believe that, you know, hands-on, inquiry-based astronomy activities will produce the best results in our students. You know, for the reasons you've heard maybe 100 times in the last 3 or 4 days. So, you know, there's some disparate ideas here that I'm going to bring together in a not very well organized fashion. And I apologize to you in advance, but again, I hope, you know, interrupt me and throw things at me and stuff. I think this is kind of a generally agreed upon flow down model of how skills and knowledge and learning is communicated to students. You start off, I mean, where this kind of, the width here, I mean, I think is kind of the, you know, the quality, a quality factor, not quantity, or, you know, how much can you really do things. So, you know, the standards start off very high in all nations. Although, you know, again, talking to our colleagues from UK, it turns out the standards there are very, very, very diverse. The United States currently has 10,000 sets of standards, but is trying to move to 1. So the standards start off, then curriculum tries to imitate the standards. Then, you know, again, it's not doing a very good job. Then assessments, you know, try to assess the curriculum. You know, again, it's worse and worse. Then teacher training comes in down here, you know, and it's I mean, the standards are almost forgotten. Then by the time the students, there's nothing. You know, I think in United States education, this is for sure the case. And I think, you know, and so we have, I think with Hands-On Universe, we have the capability, since we go, you know, from kind of standards, these are all, well, at least certainly the standards and curriculum are bound pretty good. And we have means to get directly to teachers. I think, you know, we can be part of a movement where we can you know, broaden the quality factor of education down to the student. I think that, in fact, I think that's what we've been doing for a decade or two in some ways. That is, we're finding ways to teach deep thoughts. It turns out in astrophysics, we're able to get the deep thoughts in a successful way down to students. Now here's to my mind why we haven't, why Rose is not living in a big, or why Rose and I don't have Mercedes and live in big mansions and stuff. Because, you know, I mean, that is what I'm saying is why funding has always been an issue for us. And I think, I mean, partially because astronomy, you know, we just heard from about, was it Italy or what Netherlands? You know, astronomy is, in fact, it's probably taught in multiple ways, but there's no section on astronomy or very little of earth science. So I'm thinking, you know, I was on a big ideas thing, and Pedro's talked about big ideas. And my current sense is, if, in fact, I think we're succeeding at this in California, is if we can sort of kind of go for big ideas, but they have to be the agreed upon big ideas, like, you know, energy, blah, blah, you know, these things are also essential to astronomy, you know, energy, forces, you know, that we really kind of aim make sure that these are very well elucidated within all of our teaching and learning. And then I think what we'll find then, I mean, you know, every every GHOU unit has energy, forces. These big ideas. Again, this is one set that you'll find resemblance to in many of the big ideas were talked about by Eric and other speakers. You know, what are things made of? Well, they're small. This is actually here's a big idea, and then here are the various grade level ones. I was on this committee for 3 years, and I think you know it worked pretty well. Let's see, do I have any power over this? Let me see if I can do anything. No, it's all beyond my control, Pedro. So I'm just wondering, you know, many of you have taught HOU, and I think I'm tilting now, is compared to having, you know, European-wide, yeah, that's good enough. So again, these, you know, we have light as a form of energy. We pre-guessed the International Year of Light. And Jay Pasakoff was on this committee, and he made sure we mentioned the universe, which was not known in 1865. So we have these big ideas, and I guess what I'm interested in hearing from is that if somehow I think it will be good for HOU, and I think we're proving that it's going to be good for at least an aspect of HOU in the United States, is if we can really tilt our curriculum towards big ideas. And actually, we've done ours towards math, or towards math big ideas, and then we have assessments that everybody agrees on. Okay, I think I'm bringing this together in my brain, probably confusing you all. Okay, so, you know, HOU materials, we really emphasize these very big ideas when we talk about them, and, you know, we demonstrate and we measure them, and they're very well, they're both implicitly and explicitly part of our curriculum, and then we assess it, you know, with agreed upon assessments that, you know, kids who don't have HOU, GHOU, are taking same assessments. I think, you know, the GHOU Astronomy Alliance units, those kids are going to be doing much, much better than normal kids. That's a hypothesis. And And again, by the way, Paolo's, I think this is an iterative process. We have a journal now, access to a great journal that Paolo's using, where I hope we can start to publish, this might be a 10-year program to get this working right, but we can start to publish papers on this. So I'm wondering, I'm kind of making a proposal in terms of things that everybody agrees, we need in science now, the fundamental nature of the big ideas. And then, ways that we can track it through our curriculum, activities, teacher training. Then, with the assessments, in some ways we don't care about. Those are going to be used, that's PISA, whatever. And then, I think what we'll find then is that GHOU kids do a lot better than kids who don't have this, because they're engaged, their brains are set, et cetera.
Carl, I think we have just like 5 or 10 minutes to close
Oh, yeah.
session. So it'd be good to have 3 or 4 minutes for discussion.
Yeah. So preparing for this, I organized it in my head. Can people reflect on this? Tell me what's wrong? Any ideas? I'll go out in the audience and ask myself a question. How about that?
Go, Christian. I'll just say another. Has any education research on HOU been published to date, or are you proposing to do this now for the future?
Let me say that again.
Thanks. I was just wondering whether any education research on HOU has already been done and been published, or if that's what you're proposing to do right now for the first time.
Yeah, I think I want to start that process going. And again, I think Rose is eager to do this, and we have Paolo. This is going to be one of the best journals on the planet. I think that in the old days, we could survive just on kids' engagement. I mean, and we've only had evaluations that are sent into the National Science Foundation, maybe a conference paper that, kids are more engaged than normal science. So, I mean, I think, we've had engagement things, but we never had skills testing data that's ever really been done very well. Actually, it's been impossible to date, because I don't think it hasn't flowed through our curriculum, our activities, our assessments. I suspect the kids are doing a little bit better, but not that much better.
Why not?
Because of that.
Okay.
So I think it's based on the big ideas should be the top level goals of these literacy goals. And I think some of our sister sciences did the similar things like climate change and ocean sciences. They have these what they call big ideas. Yeah.
That was our idea.
Well, yeah, maybe. Just have to have learned from the others. Any other comments?
I just collected everyone in this room's email address, so what I would like to do is put an email together with your email addresses, and you can write these ideas down, these comments, because I'm sure there are people who have a lot of ideas who aren't voicing them, and we're sort of out of time. So if that's all right with everyone, I will send you a sheet or maybe a spreadsheet. I'll figure out what to do, and I will just send it to all of you, and you can click on it and type in your ideas. Or actually, a discussion might be better, but anyway. So I would do something like that. Is that all right? Okay, thank you.
Okay, it seems that I see a lot of people here tired. I know I am. I know there are some members of the team collapsing. So we will follow up on this. I think the big ideas of science is something very important. We will find different means to collect your input. In any case, I think we are here to stay. Global Hands-on University is here for more than 20 years. The Astronomy Alliance started, and I think the recipe worked well. We had over 140 participants over the week, which was great. And I think that this will certainly continue for a long time, hopefully. So thank you all for participating, for being here with us. Please come back many times. Infect others. Convince others of the importance of what we do. Help us make our work better, improve our contamination. And I think that we'll probably meet next year in Global Hands-on Universe 2015. We'll probably, if Pedro helps, happen in Hawaii. 2016 is yet to be decided. We are going to decide that now in the General Assembly that will take place after the coffee break. You are not obliged to come, but you are very welcome. A warm welcome for you to become GHUers and, you know, have your opinions count. We are not our own association, we are yours. So thank you all. I think it was a remarkable week. We learned a lot from all of you. Please come back always. Thank you. Thank you. You're free to go.